Hey, what's going on, everyone? RAMCCALL here. So, back at you with another update on the journey to $1 million in monthly revenue. So, if you want the short version, in February, we had about 33,000 page views for the whole portfolio and about $437 in monthly revenue. That's up about from roughly $416. That's about like a 5% increase in revenue. And then, as far as a page view growth, it actually, I think, decreased by about 24%. So from 36 to about 33,000. And so, if you guys want a sort of like visual depiction of that, here's the kind of overview of the whole life history of the portfolio. So, website one and two, obviously, were the main bulk of the portfolio, and they really still are. But right now, I'm trying to diversify into websites three, four, five, and six. And it seems to have sort of hit the bottom in terms of it decreasing month over month. And I think this coming month in March, it's projected to be about like back up to like 36, almost 40,000 page views per month. And hopefully, due to the seasonality and whatnot, it'll start to increase quite a bit. But, anyways, all that to be said, I'm going to be just really focusing on websites three, four, five, and six to better diversify the portfolio, and then just not really rely on just one or two websites to bring in your monthly traffic and your revenue for your overall business. And so, something I sort of thought of doing was implementing what I just kind of coined as like the Silo Snowball. And for those of you that may not know, like I guess common ways to tackle your investments or like debt, as an example, like there's different ways to go about it. So, as an example, with the debt snowball, it says like take your smallest debt and then pay those off smallest to largest, because that's what's really going to move the needle, rather than try to play around with like interest rates and math and stuff. What really matters is actually doing the work, and in this case, publishing articles to a particular website, and in this case, a particular silo. And so the kind of strategy that I think I'll be doing is building up any singular website to about 150 posts. And then anything past that, once I get all of them up to about 150 posts, then start setting the goal post for the number of posts up to about like 50 to 100 posts more. So in this case, as an example, like website four and six, they only have like 21 posts on it. And so I set the goal for about 150 posts, because I think that's kind of like a reasonable amount of posts to have on a website covering maybe like a topic or two, and can kind of give you like the greatest inclination on the earning potential, the traffic potential, the ROI essentially, and the growth and all that. And so I think by doing it this way, just sort of taking all of your websites, setting the goal number of posts, and then highlighting the areas where you should be saying like, okay, I only have to put like 8 more posts in a website one. It's really easy to kind of knock that out. And then likewise, once you do that, then you can go to website two, just publish like 28 posts, and then it's so on and so forth. And I think that's potentially a better way of sort of strategizing how you can kind of disperse your resources into all these websites, because when you don't really have a set plan, and this is why I'm doing this, because like you just kind of are all over the place and you don't really have any way of focusing in on one specific thing. And so by allocating all of your resources into only 8 posts, I think by looking at it that way and structuring it that way, it can be a lot easier to kind of overall make progress for your websites. And I think it's also a really good exercise to see like the overall ROI for any particular website or silo within a website. And so if you take a look at website one and two on the top part of the screen, that's the average ROI for the entire history of the websites. So from January of 2022 till basically right now. And so that's the aggregate ROI. I understand like a lot of the times the ROI is going to be a lot greater in certain parts of the year, especially if it's seasonal. But I think overall the ROI, the average, taking that into account, will set you up for success. And so it also kind of highlights, like as an example with website three, I've just been kind of letting that one sit at about 150 posts. But if you take a look at the ROI, it's still at about 15%, and it's still on average growing at about 72%. Obviously, like this past month, it went down, but hopefully that can give you like some, encouragement in the sense that it's actually growing on an average basis, average monthly basis. And so I keep talking about like ROI and like, what does that mean? So ROI, I'm calculating that, and if anyone wants to kind of correct me, feel free. But so I'm paying a lot less than $30 per post, but I'm trying to play it from a conservative standpoint. So I'm just saying like $30 per post, multiply that out by however many posts you have, and what's your revenue. And I'm calculating that by basically taking the revenue, multiplying it out by 12. So this is a yearly ROI, and then dividing that by the upfront content investment. And to be quite honest, I've also played around with the numbers to say like, okay, well, how much are you paying for hosting and all that? But to be honest, hosting websites, if you know what you're doing, I mean, you can do it for free, ultimate scalability, and there's like zero security concerns. But in my case, I'm just hosting it on a WordPress instance on Amazon Lightsail, and you're paying like $5 a month. And so when you take that into account, the operating costs or the fixed costs are extremely low. And I don't pay for plugins. I do everything manually. Only thing I really pay for is hosting and like Canva, I guess, to kind of make these like watermarked images for the brand for each of these websites. And that's really it. And so that's why I just keep it simple and just say ROI is a factor of the monthly revenue, multiply it out by 12, divided by however much you pay for all these posts. And at $30 per post, which is a conservative estimate, is still yielding about a 15, 48, almost 50% return on the first 3 websites. And that can even highlight, in my opinion, like that speaks a language to me from like a stock and investing percentage standpoint, right? More so than like the revenue per post that you see in the middle of the screen right there. So like $1 per post on a monthly basis, like what does that even mean? Like there's no like standardized like metric to base that on. And so that's why I'm sort of diverting my attention now to like the ROI percentages, because if I were to put, $4,000 to $5,000 in the stock market, like S&P as an example, you'd get like 7 to 10% maybe. But 15% for not really doing a dang thing, and 50% in this case is, in my opinion, still pretty good. And so anyways, just taking the whole like Silo Snowball sort of concept, I actually went through all my websites, and website 1 is an example. I blocked out the topics for obvious reasons, but let's say you want to stay true to like the $150 or 150 posts per silo, because I hear a lot of people saying like if you have topic silos and all that, then that'll prove you to be an authority and all that stuff. But I'm still going after underserved topics. So again, I think it's kind of a good exercise to sort of highlight areas for improvement, and then start adding more content into those topic clusters, if you will. And I also think it can help diversify your portfolio even more, because now you're explicitly going to all these different topics within each of these websites, and then saying, all right, so for website 1, the goal is to publish 8 posts. And then within that, let's see, like topic number 1, out of those 17 posts that you see there, publish 8 of them, and you can kind of tackle it that way. And so as far as like the overall page views for the portfolio, again, so in February, we hit about 33,000, and I'm projecting March to be around, maybe around like, 36,000, but we'll just have to wait and see. 36,000 page views in this current month of March 2023, but in February I hit about 33,000. And so I think since the October spam update, the totally obliterated website 2 and maybe even website 1 to a certain extent, it still is kind of hovering at around like the 30 to 40 monthly page view, 30 to 40,000 monthly page view mark, if you will. And so I would hope that over the course of time, website 3, 4, 5, and 6 will begin to pick up steam and then push that number a little bit up. But I'm fine with it, honestly. I'm playing it from the long-term standpoint. I don't really care about all these different fluctuations. I think if it's producing return greater than the S&P 500, then to me that's kind of a win-win. And so speaking of website 2 and like updates and all that, so on the left-hand side of the screen, that's a microcosm of one of the higher performing topic clusters, if you will. So I have a topic cluster within website 2, and then within that one is what you see here on the left-hand side of the screen. And if you look where that initial dip was, or that entire valley, that's during the Google spam update. And then I think there was an update around like mid-January, and there's other categories in this website that are showing signs of improvement, but you can see it basically just came back to life overnight, or at least looks like it. And if you look on the right-hand side of the screen, the active like 30, 90-day users for the website seems to be on an upward trajectory again. And so I'm just letting this one sit. I'm not really going to touch it. I'm just going to focus on websites 3, 4, 5, and 6, particularly website 5. But I'm just going to let this one sit and just kind of see where it's at. It's already on Mediavine, and it's already, just kind of chugging along pretty nicely, to be honest. So website 3, and I really like this little active user widget on Google Analytics. It kind of like gives you like a broad perspective on the overall like seasonality and users hitting your websites. And so for website 3, it was kind of at a valley for the longest time, and then it kind of like just all of a sudden exponentially started increasing up until around December or January. And then I think now, and I expected this, it started to decrease just due to the seasonality, I would think. And then hopefully it'll just, over time keep going up in users, especially as I start adding more content to the website. Website 4, so this one only has about like 20 articles on it, roughly speaking. And this one's kind of interesting because over the past year or two, I've just been kind of letting it sit and let it do its thing and just sort of sit within the Google algorithm, if you will. But it's really cool to see, like, over the course of time, like, you'll see dips and valleys. And then now, since I've started to put a little bit more content onto it, this is definitely a more quote-unquote age domain, if you will. But you can clearly see that there's no like impacts from Google updates. It's just been kind of sitting there, chugging along nicely. And hopefully over the course of the summer, the website will do pretty well. So website 5 is one that I've been really focusing a lot of my effort and attention on. And there's 2 main reasons why. Where the traffic's coming from. So it has about like 93% US traffic. And then on the right-hand side of the screen, obviously, the users are exponentially increasing it, and it really is showing no signs of stopping. And I would attribute that to the fact that, I think I mentioned it in my last video, that a lot of these topics and whatnot that are available within this niche, there's literally no competing articles. It's just straight up forums on, like, I'm not even joking, like the entire front page is just nothing but forums. And so I think that's a good indication of, one, search volume. A lot of people are talking about whatever this is online, and you're seeing that in the form of forums and all that. Recent ones too, like in 2021, 2022, etc. And then again, like there's literally no competing articles, and I think that really is the key. I think a lot of the troubles that I'm seeing on website 1 is that there's a lot of competition moving into that space. Which is kind of like, you didn't really expect it, but it's just the way it is. But I think a lot of people are going after that particular area. And I think that's also why website 1 is going down. But for website 5, like I've identified thousands and thousands of topics where literally like the entire front page is just nothing but forum posts. And so hopefully that's going to serve RAMCCALL very well, in the sense that this will grow very, very quickly and get on Mediavine, all that stuff, but we'll just wait and see what happens. And website 6, even more of the US, I think this is like 98% US traffic. There's not quite as many underserved topics that I'm able to identify, but I think the search traffic is definitely there. So there's some different trade-offs in terms of like underserved topics versus like search volume. And I think if you can find those little nuggets, then what you do rank for can really pay off big time. And so website 6 was sort of created as a website to where I could literally write about any topic, any niche, anything. And so I think as I start to exhaust some of these topics on this website, it only has like about 20 to 21 articles on it, just like website 4. I think as I'm starting to like kind of run out of like very underserved topics, then I'll start pivoting into even more underserved topics, maybe not even totally related to what this one's currently about. And so anyways, guys, that was just kind of a quick update. So hopefully over the course of the next few months, everything will start to stabilize and start to increase as website 1 and 2 start to recover. Websites 3, 4, 5, and 6, hopefully they continue to show great signs of growth and stuff like that. But we'll just have to wait and see. Anyways, guys, I really appreciate you watching, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. See ya.